to get into the history of medical tyranny with Dr. Peter Glidden, BSND. He's the host of Fire Your MD Now, right here on the GCN Radio Network. Dr. Glidden received his BS degree from the University of Massachusetts in Amherst. He earned an ND from University of Seattle, Washington, at, I guess you say, Bastar. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Dr. Peter Glidden is an outspoken advocate of holistic health and currently has a private practice in Illinois. He is also a member of the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians and Illinois Association of Naturopathic Physicians. But he's really an expert on minerals, vitamins, all sorts of stuff, and he gives lectures all over the world, and he joins us now, and he's also consults and works with us there on the websites infowarshealth.com and infowarsteam.com, and he joins us now. But first, Doc, let me bring this up here to you. What is your take on psychiatry and the Prozac drugs they're pushing? I've been tracking the record number of 28 suicides of troops and veterans a day. I mean, it's massive. I talked to Dr. Pachenik, who is a psychiatrist, last night, and he said, you know, I mean, he basically agreed a lot of these psychotropic drugs are helping trigger this. On the insert of these drugs, it says it can cause psychotic breaks. But now they're going to use suicides and a few shootings by veterans to try to say all veterans are bad. I mean, next, if auto mechanics do something wrong, will they all go to jail then? Or if a dentist robs a bank, will all dentists then be under suspicion? I mean, this is pretty darn amazing. You're not supposed to discriminate on race or religion, but it's okay to discriminate if you're a veteran. You're now the #1 threat, Homeland Security says. What's your view on psychiatry now grabbing people for their free speech nationwide?
Well, it's the height of hypocrisy, because the leading cause of death in the United States, to the tune of 780,000 people a year, are treatments delivered by MDs. Your MD is more dangerous than cancer. Your MD is more dangerous than a serial killer with a gun. Your MD is the leading cause of death in the United States. And we have a funny saying about psychiatry in the wonderful world of holistic medicine. Here's the way the joke goes. What's the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist? Well, a psychologist is a person in a completely black room looking for a black cat. And a psychiatrist is a person in a completely black room looking for a black cat that's not there.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, so many times it turns out, as you know, big studies are out confirming this, but they've known for 200 years. Somebody's worked around lead, mercury, you name it. They're brain damaged. They're mad as a hatter. And it's chemically induced schizophrenia, but they don't even look or test their blood to see if it's heavy metals causing them to be having problems. They just immediately put them on a bunch of drugs.
See, this is the problem. This brings up the perfect point, because MDs, bless their hearts, are not trained in medical science. Nobody is. MDs are trained in one very small piece of the pie of medical science, and the piece of the pie that the MD is trained in is referred to as reductionistic allopathic pharmaceutical medicine. The MD does not believe your body has the ability to fix itself. The MD, like a communist, believes that once you're sick, you're screwed, and the only option you have is to march in with a synthetic drug that overrides, overpowers, and controls the metabolism of your body. And, you know, MD-directed medicine is really great for trauma. It's fantastic for surgery when it's indicated, and it's, you know, for a handful of infectious diseases. But for goodness sake, for most of the things that most people go to the doctor for most of the time, including depression and attention deficit disorder and psychiatric conditions, bringing your body to an MD is a fool's errand, and you're going to suffer, and then you're going to die.
Now, let's go over those numbers. I noticed that John Rappaport at No More Fake News did a report that even on the Food and Drug Administration's own website, they were saying that hospitals and doctors are the #3 killer in the country. You know, bad drug prescriptions, infections, all this. But you've compiled the numbers. I mean, it looks like they are #1. The most dangerous thing is a doctor's office or a hospital. I mean, I've got so many friends and people that go in to have a minor surgery and are dead in a week from an infection.
Andy Rooney, I mean, he was the most recent, the most famous, right? Andy Rooney, they wouldn't tell us what the minor procedure was, but they say, oh, he died from the results, complications of a minor, hospital procedure. If you want to check out the numbers, there is an exhaustive 45-page report. This draws statistics from the New England Journal of Medicine, the Journal of the American Medical Association, the Lancet, for goodness sake. These are extremely prestigious medical journals. Here's how the numbers crunch, and you can download this document for free on my website. That's fireyourmdnow.com. You can download it for free. It's called Death by Medicine. MD treatment, 780,000 people a year are killed by MD treatments. Heart disease, 698,000 people a year. And cancer, 550,000 people a year, which means your medical doctor, by the numbers, is more dangerous than cancer and more dangerous than heart disease. And this is the billion-pound gorilla in the middle of the country that nobody is talking about. We are having a healthcare crisis of biblical proportions in this country. It is not because of pharmaceutical profiteering. It is not because of insurance fraud. It is not because of a for-profit medical industry. It is for one reason and one reason only. The treatments delivered for chronic disease by MDs do not work. They don't work. And not only do they not work, but they cause harm in the process.
Well, since you were last on, it's come out that Merck knew its MMR shot was giving people the measles, mumps, rubella. The whooping cough was giving it to them. And they're like, this is great, because then we get cases and people get scared and go out and get it. This argument that we've got to take vaccines because we'll make you sick that are vaccinated. Hey, morons, you have been vaccinated. I mean, again, the GlaxoSmithKline came out that with dozens and dozens of drugs, they knew zero help killing people, like their asthma drug. I mean, how many times do these companies have to be caught shipping tainted blood they know has HIV for 11 years? Bayer. How many times Gardasil killing people? I mean, they just keep doubling down. Now in California, giving kids shots without parental consent in schools. I mean, this is a flaming group of murderers coming after us, and I'm sick of it.
And nobody goes to jail. 3,000 people die in the Twin Towers. We go to war. 780,000 people a year are killed by MD treatment, so we don't bat a freaking eyelash. As a matter of fact, we partition the government to give us more access, to pay for access to this kind of health care. It's nonsense. It is nonsense. We have gone down the rabbit hole of our genuflection at the altar of the MD king of medicine for 100 years now, and it is quite...
Oh, no, people worship it. Why don't you, in fact, I'm going to bow to him right now. Oh, you're so good. Give us more factor VIII filled with HIV and hepatitis. Oh, you're so good. More Gardasil doesn't protect us from the papillomavirus, but kills you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the fluoride. Harvard admits fluoride in dozens of studies is brain damaging, is causing bone cancer. They did that in the 20s. The Soviets, the Nazis put it in the water. That's in Pulitzer Prize winning books by sure. And now they admit it, but they don't take it out. Talk about fluoride. Look, this isn't by accident. The doctors are dumbed down and compartmentalized. They're killing us. We have the documents. Talk about the history of it. Let's talk about the history briefly and then get in to some of the latest stuff. But I mean, you break it down. Explain how the Rockefellers set all this up.
All right, well, in the 1800s, in the early 1900s, there was a relatively even playing field of medicine in the U.S. Nobody had the upper hand, right? You had the MDs, you had the chiropractors, you had the osteopaths, you had the naturopaths, you had the homeopaths, you had the herbalists. Nobody had the upper hand. And then in 1910, the Carnegie Institute, followed in turn by the Rockefeller Foundation, funded a gentleman named Abraham Flexner to go all around the country. Now, keep in mind, this was, at the dawn of the interstate highway system, right? It took Flexner 5 years. He went all around the country, did it on train and stagecoach and horseback. Took him 5 years. He did an inventory of all of the hospitals and all of the medical schools in the United States that prescribed drugs. Why? Because the Carnegies and the Rockefellers owned the drug companies. So he brings his list back, infamously referred to as the Flexner Report, gives it to the Carnegies. The Carnegies give millions of dollars. And this was in early 1900s when $1 million really was $1 million. Millions of dollars of free money to the medical schools and the hospitals which prescribed drugs. Now, if you're starting a business and I'm starting a business and you get $1 million of free money and I don't, guess who's going to have the more successful business? You are. This was the beginning of the end for medicine in the United States. This tipped the scales. The Flexner Report and the funneling of millions of dollars of money into the hands of the MDs, into the hospitals that prescribe drugs, was the tipping point of medicine in the United States. And after the Flexner Report, right around 1920, the balance of power shifted and the MDs started to control the medical marketplace, and that is the only reason that the MDs are in power now. Now, bless their hearts, they're really good for trauma, they're really good for surgery, but they're also the leading cause of death in the United States. But the only system of medicine we have access to, the only system of medicine that your insurance pays for, the only system of medicine that they make TV shows about or teach you anything about is MD-directed medicine. And most people think that the MDs are top dog because their therapeutics must be better, must be safer, must be more scientific. No. The only reason the MDs are in the driver's seat is because of financial and political coalitions built at the turn of the century that everybody's forgotten about, and we are dying because of it.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I want to continue going through the history, but also want to intersperse a bit of infomercialing here because it funds our operation, but that's secondary. It's because I've researched a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals, and I want to address something here with you. I'm going to spring this on you and get your take on it. I mean, I know my dad's take, who actually is a doctor of dental surgery, but he was telling me this when I was a kid, and my research shows it. But the best stuff out there is longevity. We have it discounted at InfoWarsTeam.com. We've launched the new site, which is a little bit easier to use, InfoWarsHealth.com. It's got Aaron Dykes losing 92 pounds on polymers, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the essential fatty acids, and the rest of it. It's all there. None of this is even advertised as weight loss. I've lost over 40 pounds. In fact, I've never been somebody that just constantly takes stuff because it is a regimen. And so I've still been doing it, but not 5 times a day like you're supposed to, the different stuff. And I've just gone back on it full time about 2 weeks ago and lost now 10 pounds. I'd lost 42, gained back a few. Now I'm still a little bit chubby, folks, but if you saw me, I'm going to do some before and after when I'm actually standing up, not squatting over here. I mean, look at my face. It's a huge difference what's happened. Aaron, in a year, 92 pounds, kept it off now for 6 months. Amazing, because he heard pharmacist Ben Fuchs and others and actually followed it. And, instead of eating that late night snack, takes their proprietary mix of essential fatty acids, the rest of it. If you go to InfoWarsTeam.com or InfoWarsHealth.com, in fact, we'll put that on screen for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers, you can sign up to be a distributor for $10 and get big discounts. You can also sign up for auto ship and get free shipping. And it's not that hard to do, but if you're not very technical like me, sometimes you need to be walked through it. So there is a toll-free number there on the site so you can get auto ship. We're going to get more into the history here in a moment. But did you know you can get free shipping at InfoWarsHealth.com? The best results with these products come when you adhere to the regime. I wrote this, folks, with Richard Reeves. It's true. You've got to adhere to it. And it's all tastes good and it's great, but I mean, it's a full spectrum. Auto ship ensures your supplements are always available. Everybody should also store this stuff. You need to stockpile it. Longevity has one of the few auto ship programs that is versatile. They welcome, it's so versatile, that's why it gets confusing. They welcome customers to modify their product order each month. You can choose from 400 great products. The full catalog is at InfoWarsHealth.com. By starting your auto ship, not only will you be saving money, more importantly, you will be assuring that by having your daily regimen available, you will be able to better enjoy your health, vitality, and anti-aging for you and your family. For more information or to get help with your auto ship profile, send an email to Catherine at Infowars.com. That's Catherine at Infowars.com. I'm hiring some more customer service folks out of the ranks of distributors right now. Catherine at Infowars.com. That's linked at InfoWarsHealth.com. And it's got the Ben Fuchs interview up there and Aaron's 9-minute testimonial before and afters. It's all there at InfoWarsHealth.com. Now, we're going to break here in a few minutes, but what makes me angry is that I only promote what I believe in. And I've seen people like Ted Anderson's dad come back from not knowing who he is to knowing who he is and being able to go fishing in just a few months on just a few products like the essential fatty acids and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and polymers and things. And the doctor, Ted's told this, it makes me almost want to cry. He's authorized me to say this. The doctor's God, though, and they went and tested his blood. They said, you have vitamin K in your blood. And he said, yeah. And they go, no leafy vegetables well, I'm taking this Beyond Tangy Tangerine. He didn't even want to see the bottle. They just said no. Well, I mean, no wonder his dad's got his skin rotting off. He's basically got scurvy. They put him on Coumadin, even though he's never had a stroke. And the doctor's got it, and now his dad doesn't know who he is. Now, I hate to have a sales pitch on that, but it's true. We can save lives here. Okay, this is a win-win-win-win-win. Sure, it funds the InfoWar. You get discounts at InfoWarsTeam.com or InfoWarsHealth.com, but that isn't even what matters. I'm watching my mother, who's a triathlete, go back 10 years in her health and everything. I mean, she's going to do a testimonial. I've been too busy. My dad was like, oh, yeah, vitamins. He's like, wow, these are good. I mean, what's going on here? I mean, the system has to know all this. If my dad knew this from taking biology at UT about trace elements and stuff needed with all the other vitamins, they've got to know. So they're covering this up so we will be sick.
Well, they fired Dr. Wallach in the 70s because he discovered the cause and the cure for cystic fibrosis. He discovered that it was caused by a selenium deficiency in the pregnant mother, and they fired him. And that's why Dr. Wallach chose on purpose to set Youngevity up as a networked business, because he knew right from the get-go that the front door of medicine is guarded by Big Pharma. So guess what? We're going through the back door with a grassroots coalition of the informed. That's
right. We're going to come back on the other side and continue with the diabolical history of this. And then I'm going to ask the question, why are the trace elements needed? Like a tiny amount of arsenic. Yes, that's in some of the products. We'll explain this when we come back. Stay with us. Alex Jones here with a message that could revolutionize health in this country. Going back about a year and a half ago, I began to learn about the incredible health effects of Youngevity products. Aaron Dykes lost 92 pounds. We're going to show you some before and afters. Aaron, break down what happened, your story.
I've worked really hard with diet and exercise to try to lose weight, but I just didn't get the results. It just didn't happen. Then I saw what you were doing with InfoWarsTeam.com. I wasn't even trying to lose weight, but I got it because I wanted to feel better energy. I wanted that nutrition. Didn't even understand how that could kickstart my own weight loss goals, but the products did that for me. I found myself suddenly losing weight, more energetic, wanting to exercise, wanting to eat the right foods.
And they don't even advertise it as weight loss. I want to challenge our radio listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com, sign up as a distributor, and get wholesale pricing discounts at InfoWarsTeam.com. My friends, it is so diabolical what's happening. I've got some other key questions for our guest who joins us right now. The USA is 50th in the world for longevity now. We used to be right up at the top, some of the longest lived. Number of class action lawsuits against drug companies exploding, Alzheimer's skyrocketing. There's a whole bunch of stuff we got to move through quickly here with Dr. Peter Glidden. And again, he is the host of a Monday through Friday show right here on the GCN Radio Network. Find out more at GCNlive.com, 4 to 5 p.m. Central. Absolutely essential. FireYourMDNow.com is his site. Again, continuing here, explain what the Mighty 90 are. Explain, because a lot of other mineral companies, well, most of them, I've seen some of the really top of the line, though. I noticed this at Whole Foods, too. They will have a little bit of arsenic, a little bit of this and that. And I remember years ago researching that and finding out, now correct me if I'm wrong, if you don't have those, they don't unlock the vitamins and minerals working together because that stuff is naturally out there. And so that's why it's in there. That's why it works so well. And also the longevity vitamins and minerals, they're not synthetic, made in a factory that's the byproduct of the chemical industry. So many of the vitamins you buy are from synthetic dead sources. They can call it vitamin A, they can call it vitamin K, but it's not really. So explain that to people because, I mean, it's on some of the tags that some of these trace elements are there in just absolutely infinitesimal amounts on purpose. And people are like, I found this, I've caught you. When from my research, that's what makes it so good is that it actually has everything. Explain that to us.
Well, you don't know what you don't know, and in the wonderful world of biochemistry, especially when it comes to nutritional biochemistry, there's only a handful of people in the whole country that have a clue and that have any clinical experience with this, right? So the thing about Youngevity's nutritional supplements, the thing about any nutritional supplement is the recipe, right? It's just like wine. All wine is made from grapes, But there's a great deal of difference between Annie Boone Springs green apple wine and a nice, California Cabernet. They're all made from grapes. Well, what's the difference? Well, how they're made, where the grapes came from, like chicken soup. What's the difference? The recipe. The great thing, I've been doing this, Alex, for 24 years. I have been involved with holistic medicine for 24 years. I used to work for a vitamin company that only sold to doctors, high-quality nutraceutical vitamins. And as God is my witness, since I have been using the longevity supplements and following Dr. Wallach's methods, I don't even know what planet I'm on anymore, because the results that I've seen with my patients are breathtaking and eclipse anything that I had previously seen. And there has to be a reason. Well, what's the reason? The reason is the longevity nutritional supplements are formulated from $25 million of federally funded research, 26,000 autopsies, 10 million blood chemistries and histopathologies, and then over 3 decades of clinical application by licensed naturopathic physicians. We are the ones in the world who are trained in the therapeutic application of this stuff. This is our wheelhouse. We know this stuff cold. And when you know your stuff and you put together the right recipe, it generates results, and results is the key. In the last year, the longevity company has increased its sales by 1,100% in this economy. Why is that? Because it works. Why does it work? Because it is informed by science and clinical.
That's right. It's traded on the stock market. If people don't know, you can go read their corporate quarterly report. Just came out last week. I was reading it. A lot of that's also our show promoting it, but it was already growing exponentially, buying up hundreds of other vitamin and mineral companies that Dr. Wallach, looks at and, knows has the formula. That's why everything is there at InfoWarsHealth.com. Now explain what the trace elements do, why some of the products have small amounts of things that people have been taught are poisonous.
Well, because, they've been taught that these things are poisonous by people that have no clinical experience with medical nutrition, and this is the problem. We get medical doctors telling people about vitamins even though they have no training.
Yeah, they're saying don't even take vitamin K. They're saying that's poisonous. Yeah.
Well, there should be a law against that. There should be a law, but the medical doctor can say whatever the heck they want because we've been brainwashed for 100 years.
Why do you want a tiny amount of arsenic? Why do you want a tiny amount of arsenic?
Because your body needs it, because it's cardioprotective. Arsenic actually helps your body to prevent the formation of leukemia. It's anti-cancer, right? You need a little bit of 90 essential nutrients. There are 90 essential nutrients that the human body needs, and you can't get them from food. It's only a matter of time until your body runs out of something, and then something breaks, and then you go to a medical doctor and he throws a drug at it. That's why we have a problem.
Isn't arsenic a treatment for a whole bunch of stuff? I mean, isn't it used to treat cancer?
It is. Arsenic is. It used to be used to treat cancer in very progressive hospitals before chemotherapy came about in Boston. You need a little bit of arsenic. You need a little bit of lead. Your DNA is made from lead. If you don't have enough lead, you're not going to have good DNA. You need little bits of nutrients, across the board. Now, listen, too much of anything will kill you. Too much sunlight will kill you. Too much calcium will kill you. Too much of anything will kill you. But it is virtually
Well, that's right. Isn't there a compound that breaks down into cyanide in the pits of cherries and other fruits? And that's a well-known cancer treatment, and it's been connected to super advanced longevity, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And see, all of this medical nutrition stuff is in the domain of information that people didn't even know they didn't know. And there's only a handful of us in the country that have clinical and scientific experience with this. This is cutting-edge stuff, folks. This is not old-fashioned medical nutrition. This is new-fashioned medical nutrition. Guess what? You need a little bit of arsenic. You need a little bit of lead. You need a little bit of chromium. And you need the full complement of 90 essential nutrients.
But instead, they give us massive amounts of fluoride that blocks all that out. And according to even medical doctors I've had it on, like Dr. Blaylock, it is actually an adjuvant accelerating all the other artificial chemicals they put in the water on purpose. Explain what fluoride does in the body.
Fluoride decreases your IQ. They did a retrospective study 20 years ago when they took 2 villages in India. And the only difference there were about 25,000 people in each village. The only difference was that in one village had fluoridated water, the other one did not. After they started fluoridating the water in that one village, within 5 years, the IQ of the people in that village had significantly reduced. If you're drinking fluoridated water, you are being dumbed down.
Now, continuing along this line, where do you expect all of this to go? How bad do you expect all of this to get as it comes out that Big Pharma knowingly is killing us, when it comes out they're eugenicists, when it comes out that all the ultra-rich already knew about trace elements, and they had mice studies 50 years ago. They already know about all this. What's going to happen? I mean, will they just keep getting away with it forever, or is there any type of reckoning?
No, there's no type of reckoning. They're going to keep getting away from it forever. For goodness sake, Bayer, the Bayer Pharmaceutical Company was a member of a coalition of German pharmaceutical companies in World War II. They built a pharmaceutical plant next to one of the concentration camps. They used the inmates to experiment on. They used the inmates to make the Zyklon B gas that killed the Jews and the Gypsies and everybody else in the concentration camps. And now, one of the companies that did that, one of the companies complicit in war crimes, is selling your children aspirin for a profit in the United States. There is so much money and control in the pharmaceutical industry that trying to fight them head on is a fool's errand. That's why Youngevity was set up as a grassroots network marketing company, because we're not going through the front door. We can't fight Big Pharma. Nobody can. How are we going to beat them? We're going to stop using them. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're suffering from a chronic health condition, the best possible thing you can do is fire your MD, join Youngevity, get on board with Dr. Wallach's nutritional supplements, his health recovery formulas, because healing is easy. It's easy, folks. We need to build a grassroots coalition of the informed, so you recover your health and you tell your friends and your family and your church members, and before you know it, your whole town is on this bandwagon, and before you know it, your whole state is on this bandwagon, and everybody's getting healthy. And that's how we're going to do it, because we get results where nobody else does, and that's what gets me out of bed in the morning. There's no way on God's green earth we are ever going to be able to fight the pharmaceutical industry. So what do? Just say no to drugs.
I agree with you. And again, folks, you can sign up and get discounts, free shipping, you name it, all available at InfoWarsHealth.com. We've launched that new site. We also have InfoWarsTeam.com if you want to become a distributor. But you can sign up both places to get the discounts. You can sign up for auto ship and get free shipping, all at InfoWarsHealth.com. That is the new site. And the other site's great, but this one works even better and is easier to navigate. You can also call if you have any questions. They can help you sign up for auto ship or become a distributor, and we'll put that number briefly here back on screen, and I will read that to people. 877-551-1301, 877-551-1301. I promote in the free market and free exchange of ideas and our ancient basic human right of free association, things I use, things I believe in. Guns I believe in, water filters I believe in, and that's how we fund ourselves. I promote what I use, what I take. The whole office uses the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Pollen Burst Plus. I mean, I've got, dentists that work with my dad all on it, freaking out how good it is. It's all available at InfoWarsHealth.com or InfoWarsTeam.com, and I want to challenge you to go there today. But again, it's a big part of the solution. The globalists do not want us. Look, alternative health is the fastest growing thing in this country. It's panicking the globalists. We've got to race and get bigger than they are and get strong so we can defeat them. We have to have capital. That means you have to have capital, and you have to have health. We believe in defeating the enemy through prosperity. They tell you that you're supposed to, if you're fighting corruption, live under a bridge or, live out in the wilderness or something. No, we are here. We are here to occupy. We are here to take America back from the globalists that have hijacked it. We are restorationists, okay? In the spirit of liberty, the spirit of 1776. We're the good guys. And it's so easy to be good. It's so easy. There's all these great blessings out there. There's all these wonderful things out there. There's all these things that work. Just do the opposite of what the globalists say and you'll do great. I mean, it's really pretty darn simple. The globalists are for it. I'm against it. I mean, it really comes down to that in the final equation. But go to InfoWarsHealth.com and watch the video of Aaron Dykes, because we have him on TV over the year. So we have all the clips of him losing. In fact, Aaron's getting back from visiting his girlfriend in Germany. We met at Bilderberg a year and a half ago protesting him and covering it. And I'm going to do one that shows all of it over a year, because we just show, a couple shots of him losing weight. We're going to put one together where it really shows it, almost at a time lapse. That video, again, is up at InfoWarsHealth.com. But enough of me ranting. You sent me just piles of documents, Dr. Glidden, of things to go over. And we've got the World Fact Book. We're not just saying we're 50th in the world behind every other industrialized nation. We are dead last. When we were one of the longest living cultures, what, about 100 years ago, the numbers were about number 3 behind Japan and Italy. Now we are the shortest lifespan, despite all the Darth Vader technology. They can't keep people alive. They make you sick and then suck everything out of you. This is such a great plan the Rockefellers and Carnegies came up with to extract everything. Talk about that. Talk about what their infant mortality is skyrocketing. Everything's going to hell in a handbasket. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. They know what they're doing. I think it's a plan. I think it borders on eugenics. The game is afoot here. I mean, let's just take a look at the statistics. While the MDs have been controlling the medical marketplace in the last 100 years in the United States, the rates of heart disease have remained unchanged, right? But that's in the face of $25 billion, that's billion with a B, $25 billion of statin drug sales a year, $25 billion of statin drugs a year, and heart disease rates are the same. Well, I thought heart disease was related to cholesterol. Well, no, it's not. There's no relationship between high cholesterol and heart disease. It does not exist. But guess what cholesterol is related to? Cholesterol is related to the health of your central nervous system, your brain. Cholesterol is so important to the human body, your liver makes it. 75% of your central nervous system is made from cholesterol, and guess what? 95% of the part of your brain that's affected by Alzheimer's disease is made from cholesterol. So when you drive cholesterol into the ditch with statin drugs, fat-free diets, and exercise, imagine that. Heart disease remains unchanged, but Alzheimer's has skyrocketed from obscurity to the 6th leading cause of death. From our point of view, Alzheimer's is a cholesterol deficiency, which is generated by your
And by the way, retired top brain surgeon who did the research, and Dr. Blaylock agrees with you. He says it is a crime. It is basically a chemical weapon that literally rots your brain. And now they've got a war against egg yolks. Now they're going after what many doctors have described as the perfect food, skewing all these numbers. I had Ben Fuchs on last week going over those fraudulent numbers. I mean, they are assaulting everything good.
It's crazy. And, autism used to be 1 out of 10,000 kids born autistic. Now it's 1 out of 88. 1 out of 88. Obesity. 30% of the country is obese. It's tripled in the pediatric population in the last 20 years, all while the MDs have been driving the bus. And what do? We continue to go back to them. We continue to give them our hard-earned money every month, even when we don't see them in the form of medical insurance.
People act like it's a treat to take their kids to the doctor every week for no reason. People act like it's a treat to be put on all these drugs. People, they just love it. It's like worshiping them. It's like
It is. This is how bad it's gotten. I mean, we genuflect at this altar all the time. It has been brainwashed into our brains that the medical doctor knows what's best for you, but they don't. They only know what they've been trained.
And by the way, let me just politely correct you. That number's about 2 years old, you gave, of the 1 in 80 something. We've got WebMD here. These numbers just came out a few months ago. It's now 1 in 50 something with boys. We'll put it back on screen there here in just a moment, because I almost corrected you when you said that, and then they actually pulled it up. Yeah, autism hits 1 in 88 kids on average, 1 in 54 boys. and some numbers are now 1 in 30-something boys and 1 in 50-something if you average them together. I know South Korea is even worse, but the point is that boys don't have as strong a blood-brain barrier. I've had medical doctors on, and all the stuff we're doing, the GMO, the shots, all of it, it's going into the brain. From your research, and I know it's a cocktail, what's causing the explosion of neurological disorders?
Wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Let me say that one more time. Whole wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Oatmeal. That's right, folks. Oatmeal. The gluten protein in these grains is almost impossible for your digestive system to digest. And so guess what? It doesn't. When you get undigested gluten rumbling through your intestinal tract, it destroys the tissue that absorbs nutrients. Gluten accelerates nutrient deficiency diseases and makes you sick.
Well, my friends, this has really moved quickly. Diabetes. I want to talk about this with Dr. Glidden. They talk about type 2 being up in some groups more than 3,000%. Cancer is off the charts pediatric, off the charts everywhere else. The U.S. is leading the world now in brain cancer, skin cancer, colon cancer, liver cancer. I mean, just everything. What is going on? What is happening on that front? Because I've looked at analysis that Americans ate more calories in the 50s and 60s. I mean, that was unhealthy. It was chicken fried steaks every night, big hamburgers. People were skinny as rails. I mean, I talked to my grandmother about what they ate. People pigged out. People drank, Coca-Cola with cocaine in it. Now, people are just blowing up. What's happening there?
Well, all chronic disease is caused by nutrient deficiencies. This is our biggest message here, right? Type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, fibromyalgia, arthritis. All of these conditions have their roots in not enough nutrients. Now, the body has the need for 90 essential nutrients, and it is impossible to get all 90 of those nutrients just from food. You can't do it because the lion's share of the nutrients, the minerals, 60 minerals your body needs every day, like calcium and selenium, those are only found in the soil. Animals can't make minerals and plants can't make minerals. If the mineral isn't in the soil, it's not in the plant. If it's not in the plant, it's not in you. It's not in the cow. It's not in the cow's milk, whatever. Unless you're supplementing with a good, high-quality nutritional supplement, it is only a matter of time until your body runs out of the stuff that it needs and then something breaks. Selenium is a perfect example. Selenium supplementation was proven in 1998 and published in the Journal of the American Medical Association by a guy named Larry Clark. Breast cancer selenium supplementation reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. It reduces the occurrence of prostate cancer.
But instead, let's not tell the women. Instead, let's just not tell them and not ask, why is everybody getting breast cancer? It's, oh, let's just try to find a cure. Well, how about don't get it and take selenium?
And how about the cure was proven to be ineffective in an exhaustive 14-year study that was published 5 years ago in the Journal of Clinical Oncology. They did a 14-year study. They looked at adults who had developed cancer and were treated with chemotherapy. And their results, which were published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology, 97% of the time, chemotherapy does not work.
And instead kills you, and instead kills you.
97% of the time.
And instead kills you, but now they're taking people, now they're making everybody take chemotherapy.
It's crazy. I mean, medicine in the United States is not results-driven, it is profits-driven. And you need to understand that. Everybody listening needs to understand that. When you're putting your toe into an industry, in the waters of an industry that's for profit, man, it's just, you need help.
Well, we need to take on this crocodile, and we got to get big to do that. And we have the buying power, voting with our dollars, to make all the food organic. We've got the voting power to shut down the TSA going on the streets of America. We've got the voting power to really push real nutrition out in the open. You vote with your dollars, InfoWarsHealth.com.
Right and wrong.
A new world order.
A new world order.
But wait a minute. They say that the world government doesn't exist as they announce it on the news. I mean, you go to a mental institution if you don't love big government. What about this new thing where if you don't like the medical system, they put you in a mental institution? If you don't like the wars, if you don't like torture, they're putting you in mental institutions. This has always gone on. They did it to Ernest Hemingway because he thought the FBI was harassing him. Turned out they were breaking in his house, tapping his phone, stuff like that. And then, oh, you're crazy. No one broke in your house. You're going to get electroshock therapy. It's therapy for us to brain damage you. I mean, how far will it go? Because obviously there's a revolution of ideas taking place, but the system is going hog wild crazy, Dr. Glidden.
Forewarned is forearmed, Alex, and knowledge is power, and you don't know what you don't know. And as God is my witness, when it comes to medical nutrition, healing is easy. I mean, it is easy. If you've got a chronic health condition, folks, and you think that you need the only people that can help you are working in multi-million-dollar high-tech medical facilities with white coats and stethoscopes, you're wrong. Healing is easy. Your body knows how to fix itself. Your body wants to fix itself. All you need to do to facilitate that is you need to stop eating food that's gumming up the works, and you need to fill your body's nutritional tank up every day with the Healthy Start Pack.
I got to stop you. I got to stop you. Folks, show my middle finger here. And I've had a lot of injuries. I had a rocket that didn't go off, fireworks, for about a minute. I went and picked it up, and it shot off. It blew a hole in my finger about a quarter-inch deep, almost down to the bone. Everybody saw it on TV. People were freaking out. 2 weeks later, it was healed. It's still pink skin. It was healed. I mean, skin blasted off, big black burn mark. And it is miraculous. I'm telling you, since I've been taking Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the other products, it healed. The whole healed faster than when I was a child with injuries like this. I mean, what happened there, Dr. Glidden?
Well, it's because your body had all the raw materials that it needed to fix itself. So guess what? It fixed itself. And this is our simple message, right? This is the fundamental thing that the MD isn't trained in and that they just don't get. Your body has the ability to fix itself. The only reason that you get sick in the first place is because your body's run out of the stuff it needs to keep the joints healthy, to keep the heart healthy, to keep the liver healthy. It's not genetic. Your chronic illness isn't genetic. It's not a voodoo curse, and it's not caused by aging. Your body has just run out of the stuff it needs. You know, there's things we need to do to survive on planet Earth. We got to purify water. We have to build houses and protect ourselves from the elements, right? Well, we need to eliminate our waste, right? Sewage treatment plants. Well, there's one more thing we need to do. We need to scour the planet, find the 90 essential nutrients, put them together in bioavailable, friendly recipes, and swallow them. When you provide your body with all of the raw materials that it needs every day, it is a game changer. If you had seen 1/10 of the things that I've seen people recover from, there would be a line outside of every Longevity Associates, house in this country, because this is the best kept secret in medicine. Your body wants to fix itself. It can fix itself. All it needs is the proper nutrition to do it. And the best place to start is the Healthy Start Pack, the Alex Pack.
Well, you're right, and I just want to thank you for coming back on. We got to get you back up for another time just to take calls. And I promise, because people have requested it, we'll have Dr. Glidden back in the next month for an hour and a half, if he can do it, just to take your phone calls and your questions, because of all the guests we have on. People love hearing Dr. Glidden and Dr. Wallach. And thank you so much for spending time with us.
Always a pleasure, Alex. Keep up the good work.
Pleasure having you. All right, perfect interview. Visit infowars.com and prisonplanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.